Hello and welcome to the FC Barcelona career mode here on FC24. I know what you may be thinking. It says Brighton and Hove Albion up there in the top left. That is because we did 5 seasons here at Brighton and Hove Albion. Very successful 5 seasons. We never actually ended up winning the Premier League. We never ended up winning the Champions League, but we came close a couple of times. If you want to go check out those videos, please be sure to go check that out on the channel. And if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well. But let's go ahead and get into this FC Barcelona career mode. So we've already applied for a job here at the end of our 5th season at Brighton and Hove Albion. We applied for the job at FC Barcelona, and we ended up getting the job. I will show you that we finished 2nd place with Brighton, and then we finished in the round of 16 in the Champions League. And I think we've taken Brighton as far as we can go at this point. So what I went ahead and did was apply for the FC Barcelona job, and we are offered that job by FC Barcelona, and I'm going to be happy to accept it with Roberto De Zerbi. We have been in this career mode for, like I said, over 5 seasons now, about to start our 6th season. And Roberto De Zerbi, I think, would be willing to make a move onto a bigger club over from Brighton and Hove Albion at this point in his career. It would make sense for him to go to an Italian team, but I think FC Barcelona was the move for this career mode. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that our tactical vision and everything else is set as well. And like I said, there were a couple of other teams that we thought about going to. We thought about going to Manchester United, but it would have been in the Premier League still, and I felt like a change of pace was needed in this series and in this career mode. So I decided to go to Barcelona. As you can see, they finished in 1st place this year in the La Liga, which was, expected of them, and that's what we're going to be expected to do as well. But they also got bounced out of the Champions League in the round of 16 this year, like we did, and they lost to Inter Milan, so the other team in Milan. So my goal for this next season for FC Barcelona is obviously to get 1st place in La Liga, and then also to get 1st place in the Champions League and bring a trophy back home to Barcelona, back to where it belongs, and back to where it has been so many times before. And hopefully we are going to make that possible. We are now here at the start of the season, here in season number 6, and I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the team that we are going to be working with and that we have here to start off our career at Barcelona, which definitely will be changing. There are definitely some key areas that we need to improve upon. But here is the starting lineup as of right now for Barcelona, with Ferran Torres out on the left, Kolo Muani up top, and Luis Enrique out on the right side. Smith Rowe, a player that we used a lot in our time at Brighton, is also here. We sold him to FC Barcelona for like 150 million a few years ago, I believe, or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see how we are able to use him now that he is up to an 89 overall. And then, of course, we got Gabri Veiga in midfield as well, and then we got Gravenberch behind them. And then in defense is definitely the area where we're going to have a lot of things to work on. Araujo on the right side, and then Varane and Nuno Tavares out on the left side, with Ter Stegen still behind them in goal. Ter Stegen up to 36 years old now, so we could also look into bringing in a new goalkeeper, but we might stick with Ter Stegen as well. And then things take a pretty drastic drop off on the bench. We've got a few good center attacking midfielders. Tom Bischoff, a player that we used at Brighton as well, whenever he was on loan with us for 6 months. And they've got a few good cams, and then they still got Lewandowski. They got a lot of older players as well throughout the club, which we're gonna have to clean up on a little bit. Gundogan's still there, Pellegrini, Partey, Longley. Players that we're not necessarily considering using too much, but they can stay as backups for sure. As of right now, we've currently got 129 million in the budget to work with, which will allow us to bring in a few players, but not as many as I was hoping for. So we are going to go ahead and have to start listing some players for sale. But it's going to be interesting. A lot of, like I said, they have a lot of really good players, and then a lot of players that are just very average and probably not worth a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on with the rest of this, with this team and with the transfer window in general. I'm going to go ahead and list Julian Araujo on the transfer list. We're going to look to bring in a new right back. He could stay as a backup for us, but they do have a backup here already. So we're going to go ahead and list Araujo just so we can get a little bit of money for him. Lorenzo Pellegrini here is 84 overall. His release clause is 87 million, which I don't think we're going to get for him, but he is worth 33 million as of right now. So we're going to go ahead and list him as well. We've got Smith Rowe. We've got Canus. We've got Gabri Veiga, El Canus, of course. We got Gabri Veiga. Tom Bischoff's going to be playing. Mateus Franca, maybe. Not sure how to say it. Could be playing a lot for us as well. I see a player here, 23 years old, 79 overall. I would be interested in loaning him if I was planning on doing this season or this career for more than one season here at FC Barcelona. If we complete our objective of winning the Champions League and of winning the La Liga as well at the same time, then that would pretty much be it for this career mode. And we would move on to another one after this season, but we'll see how it goes, obviously. But for now, I'm just not interested in loaning anybody, so we're going to go ahead and remove him, or add him to the transfer list. And that's all we're going to do for now as far as adding players to the transfer list. We're going to try to add some players to our short list to see if we can bring them in. Obviously, defenders is going to be the main area. We're going to look for left back, right back, everything that we can find in defense. And we already have an offer here for Tohumchu, I believe is how you would say his name, here for 24.5 million from Atletico Bilbao, which is not realistic at all because, you know, they only sign players from the Basque region, I believe is what you call it. So we are going to go ahead and reject that one just because it's actually not realistic at all. But we will end up selling him at some point. Napoli come in with an offer for Tohumchu here for 24.5 million. I'm going to go ahead and delegate this and ask for 28 million, I think would be fine. And then we'll take him. We'll settle for as little as whatever they can offer. But yeah, one thing I was going to mention was that I didn't sell any of the players from Brighton to any bigger clubs before I left. I didn't want to leave the team in like a bad situation to where they just didn't have any players. I wanted to make sure that they were able to win a lot of games if they can, and if they want to sell those players, then they can, and I'm sure they'll move some of them on for sure. We'll definitely take a look into it once, you know, we get further into the transfer window. But yeah, I just didn't want to sell the players. It didn't feel right leaving the club in turmoil while I'm also leaving the club as well. So I went ahead and didn't do that. So if that upsets any of you guys, I'm sorry. I just had to throw it in there to make sure you guys knew. Looks like Napoli are sticking with their 24.5 million. I'm going to go ahead and accept it just because we need the money. And then it looks like we've got an offer here for Pellegrini for 42 million from Southampton. I am very willing to let him go. I'm just going to go ahead and accept that one straight away. Looks like we'll be getting a little over 60 million for those two players combined, which would be very, very helpful for the budget and very helpful for the caliber of player that we want to bring in. And we get an offer for Araujo here as well. It looks like we can get almost 29 million, almost 30 million for him. So we're going to go ahead and offer that to Dortmund. And if they want to get him, they can. I've already added some players to the short list, and I will be going over that very soon. But we're going to try to get these players sold before we even go into that. And Tohumchu has decided to go to Napoli. He had a couple of other offers, one from Nottingham Forest and one from another club. I couldn't exactly remember who. But he has decided to go to Napoli. Looks like we could have gotten a lot more money for him. Didn't seem that way in terms of Napoli standards. And it looks like Pellegrini is also making his way out to Southampton. Supposedly we could have got 61 million for him. Don't know about that either. But I'm happy to take whatever they were offering, which means we now have a lot more money. 35 million from Pellegrini and 19 from Tohumchu. So 54 million from those two sales into the transfer budget. And then we've got Borussia Dortmund here saying that they will accept, or they have accepted the deal of 29 million for Araujo. So we're going to get him moved on as well. And he has now officially been sold to Dortmund for 29 million. I believe we're going to get about 24 to 25 into the budget for that sale, which is plenty for us, and it's going to work out well for us. We've got an offer here for Nuno Tavares from Napoli as well. Not a player I was thinking about selling, but I would be willing to if we brought in the right pieces. According to the email, we could get up to 46 million for Nuno Tavares, so I'm going to go straight back in with an offer of 45 million over to Napoli. If they're willing to pay that much, then we'll let him go for sure. And it looks like they're sticking at 31.5. I'll go down a little bit, 42.5. And if they'll take that, then we'll definitely go with it. They're trying to meet us in the middle, but not really. We're not worried about a sell-on clause. Yeah, we'll go with 41. And we'll try to see if we can get him moved on. And they're going to say yes to 41. So we'll be getting 41 million for Nuno Tavares. We don't have any other left backs besides him, so that could be a bad move. But at this point, we're just trying to rack up as much money as we can so that we can bring in the quality of player that we want to bring in. And Nuno Tavares did make that move, so 41 million into our budget, which is very, very nice to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at the finances. I believe we're going to have, almost 300 million now, which is very, very helpful, especially considering the players that I have on the short list. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. You're going to see a lot of defenders. Some of them we're going to be able to bring in, some of them not quite. I would love to bring in Alejandro Balde. I think he would be perfect for this team, but he is going to cost like half the transfer budget, and for a left back, I just don't know if I'm willing to do that. The only other one we have right now is Nuno Mendes, but he's only going to cost like 65, 75 million, which is a lot more reasonable than 100 million plus. So I'm thinking about bringing in Nuno Mendes. If that's something you guys want to see, then be sure to let me know. I'm going to go ahead and sort this out here. So Jeremy Frimpong, what I would love to bring in, he's going to cost, again, over 100 million. Probably not worth it. I would love to bring in Trent. I think he would fit really well into a team like Barcelona. Again, 100 million, is it worth it? I don't know. So we've got several other players here. Molina would be one that I would definitely lean towards. He could fit right into the team, but he does play for Atletico, so that wouldn't make too much sense. And then Gertrude here, looks like he made his move to Real Madrid very recently, so probably wouldn't make sense there either. So that leaves us with Diogo Dalot and Tino Livramento. I'm not excited about those options, so I would love to bring in Trent. If you guys think that would be a good move to bring him to FC Barcelona, then let me know in the comments down below. We'll kind of leave the right back situation for the next episode. We've already got Araujo as our right-sided center back, so we wanted to bring in a left-footed center back. We've got a lot of them here. We've got some that are right-footed still, but Jurrien Timber has 3-star weak foot, so he could play on the left side if we needed him to. I would be willing to bring in pretty much any of these players, to be honest. They are all very, very solid players. But if you're asking me who I think would fit best, Jurrien Timber would definitely be one. Hincapié would definitely be one. Gabriel would be one. And I think Badiashile would also be a pretty solid option as well. But obviously, you know, I'd lean more towards some than others. Timber and Hincapié would definitely be the two I'd probably lean towards the most. Gabriel would be decent, but his passing and dribbling aren't great, and he's not very quick either. He's just good at defending, which always helps, but Araujo is already pretty good, so I would also be willing to bring in Lisandro Martinez. You know, it just really depends on what you guys would want. We might have to make a decision on it quickly, though. And then at left back, like I said, we got Balde, we've got Mendez. We've also got Alphonso Davies on here, again, over 100 million. And then Miguel Gutierrez, I think, would be a very solid option for us, would definitely be a very cheap option for us, so that we could focus on other positions a little bit more. And then a player down here that I'm definitely going to bring in, Chao Miranda. Looks like he's going to cost us a little over 66 million, close to 80. We don't really have a backup striker. We have Kolo Muani, and then we have Lewandowski. Lewandowski is like almost 40 years old now. So I think we need to bring in a very, very formidable backup, and I think Chao Miranda would be the perfect option. Going to cost a lot, but he is going to be very good, and he's going to continue to grow. And of course, we've been with him for ever since he came into the club a few years ago. So I would love to bring him in, and he is so good now. So we're going to go ahead and bring him in immediately. And we're going to go straight in with an offer of 65. Hopefully they don't get too mad at it. I don't even know who the new manager would be. They're going with 74.3 million. That's not too bad. We're definitely going to try to get a little bit less than that, 67.5. We'll just go with his market value. And it looks like they will make that deal, selling a youth academy prospect, a world-class prospect, to their former manager who just left. Not exactly realistic, but it works for me. And we've got him signed up on a 90,000 euro a week deal. He is going to be a rotational player for us, so he's going to expect some game time, but not a whole lot. But we get an A for that transfer rating, and it's going to be awesome to see him with the club now. And he's going to grow very, very quickly. He might even overtake Kolo Muani at some point. And then, like I said, a position that we pretty much need to worry about immediately is going to be left back. We sold Nuno Tavares, and he was our only left back option. We do have some other options here. Pedro Paz was actually a free agent a week ago in the career mode, so I would have loved to sign him up so that he could be our backup and would have been, you know, a little bit cheaper. But unfortunately, Atletico Madrid beat us to it. So really, our only options right now is Nuno Mendez and Miguel Gutierrez. I think those are the two we're going to potentially go after. And I thought about going after Gutierrez, but we really need someone a little bit better. So Nuno Mendez, I think, is going to be the perfect option, and he's got the attributes for it. So we're going to go ahead and go after him as well. Going to cost us, again, around 65, 70 million. So we're going to go in straight with an offer of 65 million. They actually want a swap deal with El Canus, which wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but I'm going to have to think about it. And, you know, I don't want to give up El Canus, but I will be willing to give up Mateus Francia. Again, I butchered that name probably, but I would be willing to give him up. So I'm going to offer them 18 million and Mateus here and see if they would go after that. They'll do it for 28. We'll come down on that just a little bit. But selling on a player or adding in a transfer player or a player in for the transfer deal would make sense. So 24 million, they won't do that. They'll do 27. We're going to penny pinch here. Actually, no, we're not. We're just going to accept that. The tension was getting too high. So we are going to bring in Nuno Mendez here for only 24 million or 27 million plus a player. And he's going to be expecting a pretty big wage, but 140K for an 87 overall left back is perfectly fine with me. So Nuno Mendez, welcome to FC Barcelona. And I was willing to part ways with that center attacking midfielder, Mateus Francia, because, you know, we have so many players. We got Smith Rowe, Viega, and Gravenberch as starters. We got Canus, Bischoff, Mbamba, Partey. We got a couple players on the bench here, Casado. I mean, there was Fermin Lopez is still here, which is a player that you guys wanted me to bring in last year to Brighton. So we've got plenty of players. Even Gundogan's down here. We'll probably never use him, but you never know, I guess. And let me know about Lewandowski and Gundogan. I mean, let me know if you want me to actually use them at all throughout the career mode. I mean, they're not very good anymore, so it wouldn't help us, but if you guys want to see them in some action, then we will get them in for sure. And we've now made it to our preseason tournament games. We've got not FC Barcelona. We are FC Barcelona. We've got Dortmund up here first. This is the team that they're going to be going with. I would love to bring in a player like Saliba. We just sold them Araujo as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how he performs against us. But we're going to go ahead and hit a quick sim on these preseason tournament games because we're just going to go ahead and try to get to the season as quick as we can. And we do end up with a 1-0 loss at the hands of William Saliba as well. So unfortunate to see that. And we do still have 166 million in the transfer budget as of right now. So we can definitely bring in a couple more players in different positions. Obviously, right back, we still need someone because we have Trilly out there right now. And he is definitely not going to be good enough for us. And then we need a center back still, left-sided center back. We've got Varane, we've got Clement Longley, and then we've got Faye down here. And those are the only 4 center backs we have. So we definitely need one more. And I would prefer a left-sided center back. So like I said, please be sure to leave your comments about center back and right back. And then everywhere else, I'm kind of okay with. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of backup players as far as wingers or anything. So we're going to look for some youngsters that we can try to bring in. Second game up here against Newcastle United. Their team is a team that we're obviously very familiar with through our time in the Premier League. And obviously Alejandro Balde, a player that we want to bring in, but probably just can't. He's too good. And of course, we lose 1-0 to them as well. Tonali with the goal to beat us 1-0 in the preseason tournament. So it's not looking great so far. We haven't gotten a win yet in our managerial career with them. And it looks like we do have a player outgoing here. Yeah, it's a loan move for just some random player that I'm not sure who it is. But now we have our final game of the preseason tournament. So we're going to go ahead and get into this one and get a quick sim on it. Hopefully pick up a win here against this team. We do 3-1. Smith Rowe scoring 2, as well as Luis Enrique. And then they got 1 as well. But we'll take a win however we can get it to start off this season. And we're going to go ahead and try to get to our first game in La Liga, which is going to be against Cadiz CF. But before that, we've got a lot of transfer business, I'm sure, to get through. Inter want to swap us a left back for Kolo Muani, which is just not going to happen. We're not going to sell him. Brighton are coming in for Ter Stegen, which is very interesting. Looks like they might be moving on from Verbruggen, but they only want to give us 24 million for him, and we just can't afford to get rid of him right now. We don't without a backup option either. So Leipzig coming in for Araujo for 137 million. We could get up to 170 million for him, which is nice, but we're not going to sell him. He's too important for us. And Smith Rowe, an offer here from Bayer Leverkusen for him, but we're going to reject that offer because I want to stay reunited with Smith Rowe here in this career mode. And before I forget it, these are going to be our objectives for the season. Looks like everything is critical. Obviously with FC Barcelona, that's kind of what comes with the job. Youth Academy, is important, but not as important as everything else. Our brand exposure is the most important. They want us to expand the club in Asia within 2 seasons. I'm not exactly sure what that even really means. Expand what? Like our reach? Get some more Asian players? Doesn't exactly say. They want us to replace 3 players from the team, which I think we're going to be able to do, and then get 12 wins in home games, or in home league matches, which we should be able to do as well. They want us to win the Champions League, win the Liga, and then win the Cup as well. Pretty standard objective for FC Barcelona. And then, of course, they've already got some financial priorities for us as well. They want us to sign 3 crucial players, so we should be able to do that with a right back and a center back signing, and then still make a profit of 200 million, which I think would be doable by the end of the season. So yeah, those are the objectives for us. Like I said, please be sure to leave your comments about right back and left center back. We're going to get into the first game of the season without either of those positions, just because we want to get some game time here on the channel. And I did find an Italian right winger here that looks like he's going to be decent in the free agent market. I'm not used to signing free agents. I don't ever really try to, but with this team, we just need a little bit more depth in certain positions, and we definitely need another backup winger. So I'm going to go ahead and sign him as a prospect. We're going to go ahead and get him into the club. And if there are any players from the squad that you want us to sell, we would definitely consider it, just for the fact that, right now we don't have the players that we want exactly in center back and at right back, and even in goal. We still want to build some funds if we can, and we have backups like, El Canus. We could still sign or still sell a couple of other players to maybe make some money. So if you guys want me to do that, let me know. But let's go ahead and take a look at the transfer history so far for all clubs, and let's just take a look at the biggest deals that have already gone down. Eli Wahi to Leverkusen for 131 million. Leverkusen definitely mean business here in this career mode. Farias to Roma. Martinez to Bayern at 30 years old for 111 million. Bakayoko to Juventus. Garcia to Aston Villa. Man, some big moves already being made. Fikayo Tomori moves on to Napoli, so we don't have to worry about him when we face Real Madrid. And it looks like they're listing Nuno Mendes's sale to FC Barcelona to us for between 71 and 76 million, which is interesting. Diogo Jota to Leeds for 71 million at 31 years old. Some of these deals are absolutely insane. Of course, we got Chao Miranda into our club. Charlie Patino up to 57, up to a valuation of 57 million. And we're gonna have to scroll back down to get to that. I just wanted to see what his rating was. 83 overall now, 24 years old. That's exciting to see for him. And some other big moves being made as well. Rico Lewis, a player that we could have brought in to maybe potentially FC Barcelona. I didn't even think about him, but now he's moved on to Lille, so we wouldn't be able to bring him in. But yeah, lots of crazy moves being made. So interesting to see how that is going to be wrapped up by the end of the actual transfer window. But nonetheless, we are here to our first match day against Cadiz here in La Liga. And I think we are going to go ahead and pretty much stick with this lineup. We're going to go ahead and get Varane in. Should have put our players on a training plan and get their sharpness up, but I didn't even think about it. But Cadiz will be lining up like this for our game against them. I believe that's Adam Webster at right center back, a player that we, of course, had in our first season at Brighton, which is crazy that you know, comes full circle like that 5 seasons later. But that'll be their lineup, and then we're going to be going with our best lineup. We still got Trilly at right back. We don't really have any other options. Nuno Mendes, Varane, and Araujo with him and Ter Stegen behind them. And then, of course, our front six is definitely going to be like that for pretty much the rest of the season, unless you guys want us to make a change. Right mid would be the only one that, or right wing, I guess, would be the only place we could really make a change. But I would like to stick with Luis Enrique for as long as we can, probably. And here we go, getting into our first game in La Liga. This is exciting to see. A change of pace in the career mode, I think, was needed. So it's nice to see a little bit of a new face here for the club. Luis Enrique in here to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, not the greatest turn. We're going to get inside to Ferran Torres, going for a shot. The keeper will make a save, but it will go out for a corner here after 11 minutes. And let's go ahead and swing this one in with Ferran Torres. And Araujo gets to it, but sends it over the bar. Wow, Ter Stegen having to make a save early. That one's off the post as well. Ramos makes a nice move. Mendes with the tackle. Cadiz looking dangerous early on in this game. I imagine, you know, we don't want to lose our first game as boss at Barcelona. That would be the worst thing possible, but we get that one headed away. Making a lot of moves. Rafael Varane getting a tackle in, but then getting dispossessed immediately. Oh, and they go for a shot. 28 minutes gone. We are not looking good so far. Gonna have to figure some things out with the new club. Luis Enrique, nice pass inside to Colomboani. We've got Trilly out here in loads of space. He's going to look inside for Smith Rowe. Nice touch and a finish. Keeper gets a hand to it, but we are back like we never left here with Emile Smith Rowe. And we are back scoring goals with him. I imagine we're going to have an insane season here with Emile Smith Rowe, and especially if he can make a connection with Colomboani, that duo could be absolutely incredible. So 1-0 lead here early on. Uh-oh. Oh, Ter Stegen, early save here in the second half. I mean, really, they've been the better team throughout this entire game, throughout the first 50 minutes. And we still had the lead. Luckily, we need to, whatever our next chance is, we have to capitalize on it. And we have to make sure that they don't. Ter Stegen here with another save. Ferran Torres over here to Nuno Mendes. Gonna cross this one up. Colomboani gonna go for the shot, but gets his foot caught by the defender. Smith Rowe. Looking down here for Colomboani. I'm going to look for Ferran Torres. I think that was a good pass onside. Not exactly the shot I was looking for. Saved by the keeper. Ferran Torres will be swinging in this corner. And Araujo gets to it again, but again, not on target. And here before this corner, we're going to go ahead and make a 3-man sub. We're going to get Smith Rowe, Colomboani, and Luis Enrique off for El Canus, John Miranda, and Zalewski out on that right side. And see if they can't make a difference in this game. I'm excited to see Chao Miranda, man. And Araujo, 3rd time's the charm, is going to finally get that header into the back of the net off a corner. And we will open up this game now. 2-0 lead, probably 3 points in hand. Ferran Torres inside of Chao Miranda. Is it going to happen early on? We're going to go for that back right corner. Chao Miranda, 3 minutes after Araujo scored. We get an interception in midfield. And he gets his first goal for the club. Oh, I mean, it's going to be insane to see how many goals he scores this season. I've been saying it ever since we brought him into Brighton that he was going to be a very good goal scorer, and he is proving us right, even here at FC Barcelona a few years later. Now Ferran Torres finding him through again. Chao Miranda going to go for an early shot again. 3 minutes later again. not even 3 minutes, I think maybe 2 minutes later again. I'm not sure what is going on right now, but ever since we brought him in, things have been going a lot better. Decided to go for a power shot here too on the edge of the box, and it worked out well for us. 4-0 now. After pretty much for the first 70 minutes of the game, it looked like they were the better team. We've absolutely blown it apart. And 2 minutes of added time here, not much left to play for, but we could potentially get a 5th goal here. Gonna look inside again. Chal Miranda with a hat trick in his FC Barcelona debut. And Kolo Muani cannot be happy about that. It's absolutely insane that we brought him in, and now he's scored 3 goals in like 15, 20 minutes, I believe. If he ends up being the starter for us going forward, things could get interesting. We could sell Kolo Muani, make a lot of money, and improve the team in other areas. But we will end this game with 3 points. A 5-0 win in our first game as FC Barcelona manager. And like I said, based on the stats of this game, I mean, the blowout is not deserved. We deserve to win the game, but not by 5 goals. I think that's a little bit unfair to Cadiz and the way they performed, but we'll take it very gladly. And I didn't even get to mention Ferran Torres much in that game, but he had 3 assists in that game as well, so it's going to be very exciting to use him. I really wish Ansu Fati was still with the club whenever he came back, but unfortunately he has moved on. And he is now at FC Bayern. I wasn't sure actually where he had moved on to, but he is at Bayern now, which is unfortunate. It would have been fun to use him out on the right side with Ferran Torres out on the left and then Kolo Muani through the middle. But now Kolo Muani, I mean, seriously, might not have a starting spot anymore. And you guys see it, our second game of the season is against Atletico Madrid. We get an offer here for Smith Rowe. We're just going to block all offers. I'm not even going to reject it, because he is not going anywhere. But yeah, Atletico Madrid for our second game of the season. That is absolutely insane. And I had to look it up. I believe the rivalry between them is called El Otro Clásico. I'm not familiar with any of the Spanish teams, really. I mean, I know obviously Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, but I don't really know too much about them besides the El Clásico, which is Barcelona and Real Madrid. But El Otro Clásico, let's go ahead and get into it. I think Chal Miranda deserves to start up top for this game. We might actually start Kolo Muani out on the right side, because it looks like he can play out at that right mid position, and change Enrique down to the bench, which may be an unpopular move, but I think I'm going to do it for this game. And this will be Atletico Madrid's lineup for their game against us. Very, very defensive heavy team, I would say. But they do have Zaire Emery and Thomas Lemar still in midfield with Goretzka, and then Evan Nilsson and Moreira. Moreira, obviously a region, I'm not too sure about him. And Evan Nilsson in striker. Looks like they're both 83 and 84 overall, so definitely not bad, but maybe not as good as Atletico Madrid standards should be. And we're going to go with the same lineup, like I said, except for Chal Miranda up top, Kolo Muani out on the right side. And I'm still playing on Ultimate, still playing on the same sliders as I was with Brighton, so if you guys wanted to see that, please be sure to go check out one of the previous videos about, sliders and all that stuff. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this one. Kolo Muani, nice pass out here to Chal Miranda. Don't really have a whole lot of support. All I see is red and white. We've got Gabri Viega here. He's going to pass over here to Smith Rowe. We've got a pass out here to Chile, who's going to look for a cross. Not a great effort. Kolo Muani will head it down to Smith Rowe, who will look across for Chal Miranda, who will score after just 7 minutes. He's got 4 goals in less than 30 minutes played already this season in 2 games. I mean, that's just simply incredible. Nothing crazy about any of the goals, really, that he scored. I mean, a couple of them were decent for sure, but a tap-in basically here. It doesn't matter, though. I mean, a tap-in, a banger, whether he's scoring a tap-in or a banger, if he's scoring 4 goals in 30 minutes, he will start for us no matter what. And he's 20 years old and looks like he's at least 30. But that's cool. Oh my goodness. Thomas Lemar going in for an insane challenge. Only a yellow card. Wouldn't have been surprised to see a red there. That would have been insane. Yeah, this is not good. Oh, yes. No, it's going to bounce right to him. Evan Nilsson just running right past all of our defenders. I kind of moved Rafael Varane out of the way, which I wasn't really expecting him to be so slow either, but Rafael Varane is kind of old now, so that one's completely on me. And we get really unlucky here that the ball bounces right back up to him. So they leveled this game at 1 here after just 15 minutes. Chal Miranda leaving it on for Ferran Torres. We're going to try to cut this one inside. Chal Miranda back to Gravenberch, who has room to shoot right at Oblak, and he will save it. Arriviega. Oh my goodness. We have Chao Miranda through. Oh, and we go for the chip just like they did. But unfortunately, we're not as lucky as them, where it bounces right back. And that's the first time Chao Miranda has shot and missed at all this season. Good pass from Tapsuba down to Molina, who makes a couple of nice moves. Eventually gets a pass inside to Evan Nilsson. And one again to Moreira. And we're now 2-1 down here right before the end of the first half, which is not where we wanted to see and not where we were expecting to see ourselves after the first 10 minutes, but they pretty much dominated us ever since then. And now we have a lot of work to do. Thomas Lamar back to Warren Zaire-Emery. Back to Lamar. Some of our players feel very slow. And he's just going to shrug Araujo off. Evan Nilsson with the shot away. Ter Stegen getting the save this time. 60 minutes gone now. And they have a corner. Looks like they're going to take it short. Here to Moreira. He's going to swing it in. And Ter Stegen will collect it this time. Chao Miranda creating some space. Finds a pass inside to Ferran Torres, who's being absolutely hounded. We're going to have Smith Rowe here, though. Smith Rowe just going to continue going forward, actually. Going to go for a shot. Oblak able to get to it, and Molina clears it away. And Thomas Lamar is so fast in this game. I did not realize he was that quick. And luckily, Varane is able to get a tackle in. Ter Stegen, I don't know what that animation was. He was absolutely not going for the ball at all. But luckily, Varane is there. Smith Rowe again. Going to have Chao Miranda. Not really. Ferran Torres over here to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe, Kolomouani. Going to go for an early shot. Not a bad effort, but well over the bar. And we'll go ahead and make a couple subs here. Gravenberch and Trilly off for Partey and Mbamba. Mbamba having to play right back since we don't have anybody that can play right back besides Trilly right now. And again, Thomas Lamar skipping past everyone. And there's just nothing we can do about it. Thomas Lamar has absolutely ruined us today. And he finds a goal here for the first time, I believe, actually. But he just runs around everyone. I mean, there's just nothing we can do. Yeah, no words. Down 3-1 now. Mendez out here to Ferran Torres. Well, that worked out for us, but not exactly what we were wanting. Torres can't get the pass through to Smith Rowe. The dream of getting 2 wins from 2 games has already died. We're going to get our first loss with Barcelona here at Atletico Madrid, not Real Madrid, but wish things could have gone a little bit better, and unfortunately they just didn't. Nuno Mendez will continue to push forward here. We're going to have to look inside for Ferran Torres, who makes a nice turn, goes for the shot, but the referee will finally blow his whistle again 4 minutes after the allotted added time, which is crazy, but we will take the L here. Atletico Madrid come away with a 3-1 win and come away with 3 points. Ooh, and it looks like right after this game, Tom Bischoff has a release clause met for $56.2 million. And I don't really want to let him go, but at the same time, $56 million could help us, propel this team even further with buying better players. So I'm going to leave the episode here. I was already planning on leaving the episode here, but we're going to leave it here now. If you guys want me to re-sign Tom Bischoff to a better deal to where he doesn't have a release clause, let me know in the comments down below. And then, of course, right back, left side, center back. Let me know who you want me to bring in. I've already listed out the options that we have, that we already thought of. I've also added a lot of free agents here that we could bring in. It looks like we've got some that came back that are decent, but not great. But yeah, so to leave off this episode, I will go ahead and just scroll through the entire short list, and you guys can stop it where you want to and look at the players, look at their overalls, look at, maybe how old they are, whatever the case may be. Please be sure to look at them, and please be sure to let me know who you want me to bring in. Obviously, left back, we already brought in Nuno Mendez, but we could bring in a backup player as well. One that I was interested in was Hernan Sanz here. 75 overall, not great, but only 21 years old, and he's a free agent, so he wouldn't cost us any money, so that we can throw that again towards the center back and right back. But yeah, let me know what you think about any of these players, and I will quickly scroll through the top of them again. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys next time. Please be sure to like the video, and please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.